This is where the fun begins.
Hey everyone, Jedi Mike 7 here, and I'm back with another video. And today we're gonna go over episode three of Obi-Wan Kenobi, y'all. This was a good episode, y'all. This was really good. First, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Our ton of new content and reviews will be coming up soon on this channel, so be on the lookout for that. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you won't miss a video. All right, guys, let's get right to it. Let's get right into it, y'all. Because number one, where we last left off, where Obi-Wan is now realizing that Anakin Skywalker is alive, right? And then he being traumatized at this moment, and as he's doing this, you see flashbacks of him talking to Qui-Gon Jinn, of saying like, "Hey, Master, please give me this strength. Please give me this strength. Realize that Anakin Skywalker is alive, right?" And then as we're doing this simultaneously with this scene, we can see that right here. Hold on one second, right here. We see Vader. We see Vader at getting out of the back of the tank, and then now he's finally getting suited up and everything in his full glory. But at the same time, while they're doing this scene, you're hearing audio from the Revenge of the Sith. That I've seen the lives of the Jedi from Hayden Christensen and everything, and we do know for a fact this absolutely is Hayden Christensen, but also is going to be Vader's voice is voiced by James Earl Jones. But as we get more forward into the episode, right? Again, emphasizing this connection that he has with Anakin, and then still traumatized for the events that happened in episode 3, right? In Revenge of the Sith. And I just like what they did this here. They didn't waste no time. They waste absolutely no time to get right into the meat of this episode. We know Vader was coming, and nope, here he is finally, right? And then one thing that did an amazing job was that we went back on Mustafar, and it's the same. If you guys have seen Star Wars Rogue One, here we are back in the scene of Vader's castle. Right, this is also in the comics as well. What is influenced by, and I just love how they just kept the continuity of this scene. Right, and one thing that you see, you have a conversation with Reva, the third sister, talking about the death of the Inquisitor. Now we know that she killed the Grand Inquisitor, but whether Vader knows that or not, we'll left for speculation on that. But we do know that Reva does want to be the new Grand Inquisitor, and now that Darth Vader is now alerted that Obi-Wan is out there, and he doesn't care about anything else but getting Obi-Wan. And he said he's been watching Reva very, very closely, and saying that if you give me what I want, then I'll make you the Grand Inquisitor. But if you fail, you will not live to regret it, right? So again, no pressure, right? But again, what you see here, as he's going, I'll move forward in the scene right here. We still go seeing this dynamic between the third sister, the fifth brother, and other Inquisitor, and then they're leaving the seat. And this seat right here, you see here, is for the Grand Inquisitor, or whoever will be the Grand Inquisitor. Now, again, I don't believe he's dead. In my personal opinion, I do not believe the Grand Inquisitor is dead. Because again, there's continuity between Rebels, because he was in Star Wars Rebels. Rebels should not be happening for like another maybe 10 years from the events of this series, maybe 15. But yeah, I don't believe he's dead. I think maybe Vader's probably setting him up and watching, see what they're gonna do. But as we see, we're getting back and forth with the fifth brother, as they're getting the sparring match between each other, like who's going to gain power, and that's just the way of the dark side, always grasping for power, right? But again, I really like what they did here. Then as we move forward, we see Obi-Wan and Leia are now escaping, and now they're undercover, still playing to be his quote unquote father, and his daughter. And as they're trying to go get a ride to the nearest town, now they try to trust this little driver. We know he's basically, we'll later find out he's part of the Imperial. And he basically set him up for a trap for stormtroopers. But one thing was a beautiful scene that you saw here was that as he was talking about why, given his alibi, why he's on that planet, he was looking at Leia saying like, "Hey, yeah, we're going to go see family there, because she lost her mother. And she said, every time I look at you, you remind me of her. Now to Leia, she still feels that Obi-Wan is holding something back for her. And now he realizes, like, he looked at her like, you know her, my real mother. And in that moment, she thought, "Are you my real father?" And I like what the line that Obi-Wan responded was saying that I wish I was, because knowing who your actual father is, a monster, Darth Vader, you know, and now even also when we get later into the episode, they're knowing that they're in like close proximity with each other, and they still don't know. Like Vader, Leia does not know that her father is literally just down, like a couple blocks down, on the same planet with Obi-Wan, right? And I just I like the innocence of her character. Again, I think what they did with this actress cast her very well. If you actually don't know, she's actually the same actress that played Shark Boy and Lava Girl's daughter in the Netflix movie We Can Be Heroes. Um, and I think that she did a very good job, at least displaying a young Leia. Again, you can get to a point where some people might find her very annoying, but I'm like, she's 10 years old. She's 10 years old, but she's smart for a 10-year-old, right? And as we move forward, as they fortunately get captured, whatever, there was a protocol droid that came in here to scan Obi-Wan, and right before that, after they scan his face, that's when he start shooting a bunch of stormtroopers. But then we get to revealing of a new character, who's actually hiding as an Imperial officer, and in disguise to smuggle in Jedi, younglings, other people of the Republic, in. And one thing that you saw with her character, and if you know her, she's also from Game of Thrones, you know. Um, and one thing I like what they did, at least for her character, just at least giving some sense of backstory, uh, of the fact that there are still remaining Jedi out there, and then the younglings out there being saved, and then that she's also helping smuggling them in. But one thing that's actually very surprising is that when we get into the scene where the little hideout that he had, this refugee point, we see carvings on the wall, and we see that Obi-Wan responded, "Hey, Quinlan has been here." Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss is a Jedi Master from, and also he have some taps into the dark side as well. He was in the show Star Wars: The Clone Wars. You can see more about that of his character. He's one of my friends' most popular Jedi's out there. He's one of my favorites. But also you can check him out reading the series of Star Wars: Dark Disciples. Amazing read for you guys. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, I really like that they kept the continuity of this scene here was beautiful. Because the fact that you know for some people that might go over their head, but for us, it's like at least we still know what that they're still keeping continuity with the Clone Wars. And even then, I hope maybe when we get to the Ahsoka series that we actually see some Clone Wars flashbacks with Ewan McGregor, with Hayden Christensen, and also Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. That would be amazing if they just do that. But as we move forward, we see that realize that the Inquisitors have arrived into the village that they've been hiding at. But not only that, when they're trying to escape, Obi-Wan feels an overbearing force. Like, what is it? What is it? What you find out is Vader. Vader is actually there, and as he's walking down the scene, it was so much of a powerful scene. Is that Vader is walking and he's luring people in, right? Force choking random innocent people, right? Not chopping people's breaking their necks with the Force as they're trying to escape. And he's knowing that he's luring Obi-Wan in because he feels his presence. He feels the presence of his old master and his old friend, right? And I love what they did here. And again, till the also giving the presence of the way Hayden Christensen is embodying this character after so many years, almost 15 years since Revenge of the Sith. And I think that he did a very good job displaying that physicality of the role, especially in the scene that he's just walking and dragging people with the Force and just trying to be intimidating, but really only luring Obi-Wan is because he know that the one thing, the weakness of the Jedi is compassion, right? And he know feeling the compassion of innocent people being killed. But then as we see as being lured, Obi-Wan is trying to escape, trying to run, and trying to diverge from Leia and everything, as they're going down this path. And then, lo and behold, when they see when he's walking back, thinking nobody's following him, then all of a sudden we finally got the rematch the square face off between Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you see Vader with nodding his red lightsaber, looking directly at his old master, right? But then when you think Obi-Wan's gonna knight his lightsaber, he dipped, right? Still trying to hide, right? But then it got to a point where it's coming like almost a Michael Myers type fight, like fight that he's following him, or like a Jason, like he's following Obi-Wan, and then you see the scene right here. Now he finally ignites it. Man, I miss him having his lightsaber, and then I just love what they did here. And it took a lot for him to ignite it, I know, but I'm glad that the show did not waste his time for us to see, as an audience member, we one thing I can say for me, I really hate is seeing my lead character who doesn't want to fight, and in fact that we see him have his lightsaber for 2 episodes, hasn't ignited but uses blaster. Finally, he used it, but he's a little bit rusty, right? And one thing that he looked at Vader, what I like what he did was that he was when he looked at the shocking value of looking at Anakin now fully embodying the dark side of Vader, he's like, "What have you become?" And then Vader responded, "I become what you made me." And I was like, and that was very powerful. And as we see him trying to run away, he's trying to fight him and stuff like that. He's been rusty. So you've been, you've grown weak over the years. That Vader responded. I thought that was very good because again, he's not that Alleganis Obi-Wan yet. He's not to a point where in Rebels, spoiler alert, that when he face off with Maul, it only took him 2 moves to take him out. Right? He's not there yet. He disconnected from the Force. Right? And I love that analogy that Obi-Wan gave to Leia, talking about how to use the Force. Is like, you ever been into darkness, and then whenever you turn that light on, how do you feel? I feel good. I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm safe. And that's what the Force is to me. When we use the light side of the Force, excluding from the dark, I feel at peace. I feel at home. But he disconnected from it because he's at safety, trying to protect Luke. Also hide his identity of him being a Jedi. And I love that he's having internal struggle with himself for what he needs to do, whether to have a fight or flight response, whether to attack or to flee. And this, he just stand his ground, right? But it still didn't stop Vader. As this time as we're happening this, you see the Inquisitors, trying to find Leia, and you see Reva still trying to get her way of trying to not follow orders and feeling like a connection to the Force, thinking that she might find Leia or Obi-Wan, whatever. But when she gets to the bunker, then she saw the symbol of the Republic, right? And now again, I still think that Reva has a part to play, being in that first scene we saw starting off this whole series. I think she was a youngling during the Jedi Temple when the Order 66 happened, and for some reason that she got captured by by Vader or the Dark no or some other Inquisitors, so where she can become one herself, right? But then as we get back to the scene again, Vader is whooping his ass, right? I mean, and he just like he's just trying to flee and he's still falling over. But then one thing I think was a beautiful scene. What he did was after he got to a point where he's like, I got him cornered. All of a sudden, he forced choke Obi-Wan, right? And then lo and behold that he got all these rocks or these chemicals or whatever, and he like lights it on fire. And then what he does, he burned his behind. He burned him, right? He's like, now you will feel. He said, now you will feel pain, right? And this is just the irony of him, where they last saw each other on Mustafar, where Anakin was being burned alive, supposedly to Obi-Wan. I thought he burned to his death, but no. But the pain he had to endure at that scene, we saw it. It was excruciating. But then now Obi-Wan got a glimpse of that pain that Anakin experienced, right? And he did that slowly, and also it was so sinister what he did. But again, it's just that the fact that he just let him burn and watched him burn, right? I thought that was just a very powerful scene, insinuating the irony of where Anakin is now, what Vader is now, right? And below behold that Obi-Wan does get saved by one of the refugees, people that he met earlier in the episode. And one thing I love, this was my favorite shot of the whole episode, because even though you can't see his emotional, face, obviously, because the mask is covering Hayden Christensen, but the slow pause and you see the fire in his eyes. To me, the irony of it, I keep going saying to it, there's a lot of things that are being said in this one scene right here. And I thought they did very powerful that he was just watching. He could have go get Obi-Wan. He could have gone, be like, no, I'm just going to watch you being dragged out of the fire like I was dragged out of the fire, right? And I thought that was very, very powerful what they did there. Now, at the end of this episode, what we find out is that the third sister had found Leia, and now we get into the next episode. Hopefully, Obi-Wan will now have to recover from his wounds being burned, and now hopefully to get Leia again after now Reva just captured her. But excuse, excuse me, bless you, thank you. But yeah, man, I can just tell you that one thing I really like what they did is that again, embodying Vader, feeling his presence, and at least give us a glimpse of what we saw from the events of Rogue One when he was walking down that hall and have that iconic Vader scene where he was just slashing people. I love that you see that the progression of him 10 years from the Revenge of the Sith, now going into his now professional career as now as the Dark Lord of the Sith. I think they did a very good job doing this. And again, the epicness of this show is slowly, like crescendo, and they're hitting all cylinders with this. And again, I like what they're now pulling punches, and it's not just fan service, but it's also fan service that's applicable to the story that makes it even better. Not just for the being lackluster. Let's just throw fan service for them just to like it, whatever. No, for people who stuck with this series, who stuck with the events of Revenge of the Sith into now to this show, you see now with certain moments that might go over people's head, we know what they're talking about, and we see it right here. We know what the meaning of this when he burned Obi-Wan, and I love what he did with this scene. But yeah, guys, that will conclude this review. I think again, this I still think episode one was kind of my favorite, but this goes a very, very close second. Um, and I'm really looking forward to what we see the events of. We're already halfway through the show. We got 3 more episodes left. Hopefully, again, we're probably going to see Qui-Gon Jinn probably hopefully see another rematch with Obi-Wan as he become greater. Now, one thing I really hope we do see, I hope we see Luke. I mean, I did expect we were going to see a child in this show, but I didn't expect it to be Leia, especially this be Leia centric for the last 3 episodes, right? We have seen Luke in the beginning of the first episode, but I'd like to see the 10-year-old Luke and probably see that side maybe hopefully for them to explore, but because unfortunately, we've been Luke Skywalker out. We saw the Mandalorian, the book of Boba Fett, and all of that stuff. But to see a different dimension of now Leia, even now we know where Luke is right now. I would like to see that explored potentially. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let me know what your thoughts on the rest of this episode. Do you like it? Did you not? And until next time, I'll see you guys next week. So again, I can say,
hello there.
all right, y'all. Peace.